Okej, we will start. Så vi börjar. First of all, really welcome. Ni alla hjärtligt välkomna. We are going to speak and present mostly in English, but of course you can use your own mother language as you ask question. That is fully okay. And we have students here and we have teachers, and it will be a nice day. So welcome from me. And the students we will meet and work afterwards. So 2 o'clock we will meet with the students in D4107 or 6. But I will check that. But we will, so after this day we will then continue with students.
There is a slight change in the schedule. We have a presentation from 11:30 to 11:45, the 3D studio. So lunch will be at 11:45 until 12:30. Otherwise, we should be somewhat on schedule. And Camilla would like to say a few welcoming words in 3 languages.
At least I will do my best. God morgon, välkomna, tervetuloa. Det är en glädje att stå här inför den här typen av seminarium. När vi har studenter, lärare, näringslivet och våra kollegor från DIAK på plats. En del i rummet och en del över nätet. Jag tror att det här konceptet kommer att bli vanligare i framtiden. Arbetslivet inom idrott, social och hälsovård utvecklas i snabb takt. Och vi får alla göra vårt bästa för att hänga med i den utvecklingen. Och här tror jag att det är väldigt viktigt att den här dialogen lärare, studenter, arbetslivet sker. Så att vi lär oss av och med varandra. Tämä päivä on myöskin sen takia hyvä päivä, että se on askel Arcadan ja DIAKin yhteistyössä. Kun DIAK siirtyy tänne meidän naapuriksi ihan vähän aikaa sitten, puoli vuotta sitten tai vajaa puoli vuotta sitten, opetusministeri Grahn-Laasonen totesi, että DIAK ja Arcada muodostavat vahvan kansainvälisen hyvinvointialan koulutuskampuksen Arabian rannassa. Ja uskallan nyt jo sanoa, että tämä yhteistyö tulee todella tuottamaan uutta ja vahvempaa osaamista, koska me tehdään yhteistyötä. Det här seminariets tema är ju väldigt viktigt för oss. Det svarar mot utvecklingsbehov som hör ihop med SOTE-reformen, med den globala trenden digitalisering, och vi vet redan idag att digitaliseringen också kommer att beröra social- och hälsovårdsyrkena, idrottsyrkena. Och det är viktigt att vi som professionshögskola som ska bidra till samhällsutveckling och som ju också har ett ansvar för att våra studenter är attraktiva på arbetsmarknaden, företagsamma och har kunnande som svarar mot framtida kompetensbehov, att vi finns med på nya arenor. Och det här temat då med eHealth, eSocial, som har ett väldigt intressant och mångsidigt program, så ska svara då mot det här kunnande, och vi är många som både vill och behöver lära oss mer om det här. During the seminar we will learn about the citizens as customers of digital health and social services, and we will also reflect ethics and regulations related to digital environments in health and welfare services. Best of all is that we will have the opportunity for a dialogue with the working life, and we will learn about a lot of new digital service innovations together with representatives from the different companies that are here today. Jag hoppas att ni alla ska ha en givande och inspirerande dag. Jag vill också tacka de lärare och de samarbetspartner som har planerat den här mångsidiga dagen med ett så här inspirerande program i samarbete över utbildningsgränserna på Arcada och i nära samarbete med arbetslivet. Det här temat hör ihop med två aktuella forsknings- och utvecklingsprojekt som vi har på Arcada idag när det gäller e-lärande, och jag hoppas vi ska ta ett stort digiskutt här tillsammans idag. Once more a fruitful day and a very inspiring seminar. Welcome.
If you have any questions during the day, we would like you to talk them into this catch box. And Mia will be trying to hit your face with it if you raise your hand. They say that you can't teach an old principal lecturer new tricks. Here to prove us wrong is Gun-Britt Leijonqvist with an introduction to eHealth.
Thank you, Jonas. Welcome for me also. Välkommen för mig. Tervetuloa. I will shortly try to introduce some of the important documents for the development of eHealth in Europe and Finland. There is existing a lot of documents, as you probably know. There are green papers, there are strategy papers. One of the newest is the eHealth and eWelfare of Finland, published last year. And quite fresh is also technology in social and health and welfare. So there is a lot, but I'm going to concentrate on a bit different documents today. This is the future. And even if you're old, you need to be in the future and you need to be prepared, both as professionals, but also as citizens for a more and more digitalized world. The European eHealth Action Plan for 2012 to 2020 is an innovative healthcare for the 21st century. It defines eHealth as using digital tools and services for health. It's a roadmap to empower patients and healthcare workers to link up devices and technologies and to invest in research towards the personalized medicine of the future. It means providing smarter, safer, and patient-centered health services. The aim is to get more information to the patients and to the clients, more involvement of the citizens, improved access to service, and also efficiency in the services provided. It's taking account the fast-growing uptake of tablets and smartphones. The action plan also includes a special focus on mobile health or eHealth. You can ask how much eHealth is used right now. There was a survey done in Europe, 2010, of public, private, and university hospitals. And it showed that 81% have one or more electronic patient record system in use. But only 4% grant patients online access to their health information. Quite interesting, isn't it? 71% use online e-booking systems for patients' appointments with medical staff, but only 8% offer patients the opportunity to book their own hospital appointment online. 43% of the hospitals surveyed exchange radiology reports electronically. However, only 30% use patients at home. Only 30% use e-prescriptions for medicines. 8% telemonitor patients at home. 5% have some form of electronic exchange of clinical care information with healthcare providers in other EU countries. So even if we have started, we have a lot of things to do yet. The eHealth action plan consists of the following parts, as you can see here. It has to do with digital skills and jobs. The automation of routines means that we are creating new and different types of jobs. IT skills will be needed in almost all jobs in the future. It will be a basic skill for all citizens in the society. We know that Europe is aging, we live longer, and we are going to cost more for the society. And also here we are trying, with the help of digitalization, to better the aging population's health and welfare and also the service provided for them. The eHealth action plan talks about smart living. It shows how ICT can improve energy efficiency, improve transport, and make our cities better places to live in. Even if we have some problems, for instance, with the West Metro, as you have heard in the radio, but still the digitalization is going on. The European Commission is committed to build an environmentally sustainable and low-carbon energy economy with smart technologies. That is something that is very much stressed in this plan. The eHealth action plan also talks about digital inclusion for a better EU society. A strong digital economy is vital for innovation, growth, jobs, and European competitiveness. Automation of, I'm a bit wrong here. Accessible ICT for all means new methodologies for technology development. Assistive technologies means that ICT assists people with disabilities, enabling them to get better social inclusion and also increased participation in the society. Skills and digital skills are needed in education. We need to educate people to be answer to the coming demands in the society. Public services are developed, and also cybersecurity and privacy is something that we are talking quite much about. Because with the digitalization also we need to think about how we secure the privacy of the client and the patient. And I think that this has been the biggest problem when it comes to health and social care, that we have been cautious in developing these kind of technologies because we are afraid that we are giving out information that needs to be private. But still, it's important to ensure online privacy, including confidentiality and communications. And that means that we are boosting the overall cybersecurity in the EU, also through policy legislation and research. And we are developing network and information security at the international level. International standards are a major concern for us. Online trust is important since we are moving in the digital age. In answer to the strategies from EU, Finland created an eHealth roadmap 2007, and it has been also further developed and published in 2013 with very, very minor changes because, as I said in the beginning, we are still on the way. We have done a lot of things, but we still have a lot of things to do. The Ministry of Social Affairs and Health defined Finland's national objective to secure the access to information for those involved in care, regardless of time and place. This is probably the most important thing when it comes to digitalization, that you can have access to the service that you need, not depending on where you are. And in a land like Finland, this is very important. You know that we have long distances between places to get care, especially in the northern part of the country. The national objective includes a comprehensive digitalization of patient data. It includes development of the semantic and technical compatibility of the electronic patient record systems. That is something that is going on quite much here in the capital city area, which you probably know. and also a development of national healthcare infrastructure and information network solutions. We need to develop the national healthcare infrastructure, and information network solutions are needed. And we also need identification and verification solution and electronic signatures. Maintaining of information that supports decision making on the net. This is all in creation, and I think that we will hear about something of this also later today. Another major objective is to enable the involvement of citizens and patients, to increase the citizens' access to information, and to ensure a high quality of health information. We have developed an health information portal for citizens, providing citizens an access to their own patient health records and log information. You probably all know the Kanta files, at least I hope so, that you get the information, have gotten the information about it. There you can go in and check what kind of information there are concerning your own health status right now, or your prescriptions and everything else that concerns your health. We also have an enhancement of interactive electronic services that is very important. The Ministry of Social Affairs and Health also made an information strategy for social and healthcare 2014. It was published, and it has actually 6 thematic areas. They talk about the citizen as service user. They are much stressing the idea that do it yourself. You know that there are already existing a lot of different devices to measure and also control your own health status. The professionals are smart systems for competent users. And that is something that we need to answer up to with education. We need to get competent user of these existing systems. We need to know them, and we need to educate our students about them. The service system has to do with to be efficient with the limited resources that we will face in the future in the society. And also the regulation of information and data administration. We need evidence-based management. It's very important since the net is open and there are a lot of sources to get information about your health. There are a lot of different measurements. There are different scales that you can use and try to get information about your own health. How evidence-based they are is something that we need to discuss. And that is something that we also need to teach our students. Where to find the right evidence-based information, and also how to manage and cooperate, getting a strong base for the data that we are going to use. The citizens are users of eHealth services. I suppose that quite many of you have some of these devices on you right now, isn't it so? You see some of the devices here measuring your health and your health status all the time. So we get information for our own use, but the idea is also to gather this data for a more systematic use for the system and the professionals, which are also things that have been developed lately. There are also informative websites. There are electronic booking systems, which you know, registrations. You register yourself when you come to the hospital. There are consultations and guiding offered online. We have distant doctors, and especially in psychiatric care, this has been quite successful in the places where it has been tested out. So we have a lot of things already, which we are going to hear more about today. And that means, or does it mean, that we are standing in front of a paradigm change? Our classical patients or clients are becoming something else. They are becoming customers. They are becoming shoppers of eHealth, and they are more active and involved in the process of keeping and restoring their own health. What does it mean for us, for the professionals? What is our role going to be in the future? And the answer to that is, might be that we are going to be some kind of developers of eHealth and welfare. And what are the challenges? What knowledge do we need to actually be able to answer to these challenges in the future? Camilla said something about that we are taking a big leap in digitalization today. I really hope so, and I hope that we get over the ditch, so to say. Now I did something very stupid. Let's see there. We are trying to answer. Camilla also mentioned that we have two different projects going on eHealth. And to answer to what we need and how to become a developer of digital health and welfare services, we have started a joint project here at Arcada together with Laura and partners from the east side of the border, where we are actually creating an EU-funded curriculum for the developer of digital health and welfare services. We have built a 15 credits curriculum to try to answer this. And here you can see shortly the substance of the curriculum. I'm not going to go into it. You can ask me later during the coffee or lunch break about it. But still we have found that we have made 3 different studied units in this curriculum. The first one has to do with also which Camilla mentioned that we are going to talk about today, the citizens as customers of digital health and welfare services. And it deals with both the citizens as an active and participating customers of digital health and welfare services, and also creating a competence for us as professionals guiding citizens in this jungle of information that actually is out there on the net. The second study unit has to do with the digital environment in health and welfare services and its ethics and regulations. As I said earlier, what worries people very much in this age of digitalization is the privacy. How can I be sure that my information doesn't come in the hands of someone that shouldn't get it? And these things are something that the legislation is trying to answer, and we are also going to, in this study unit, talk about these things, about data security and general processes of digitalization and how to make them secure. And in the third study unit, we are actually trying to do something. It's about the digital service development and information management in health, where we are trying to together with a multi-professional team from design, IT, health and welfare, to actually develop digital services suitable for our patients or our clients. I know that these are high ambitions, and as we said, we are trying to take a quite big leap forward, and I hope that many of you will participate in the course when it starts in September. This was very, very short going through some of the main documents that regulate this. And as I said, there is a lot of documents talking about e-health and digitalization right now. But I hope that I gave you a short view about it. Thank you for me.
Any questions for Gugge? You can also ask your questions on this chat wall. If you go to the address todaysmeet.com/eHealth, you can do it anonymously if you want to, if you are afraid to present it in your own name. Thank you, Gugge. Next up, we have Camilla Granholm, who recently defended her dissertation, Social Work in Digital Transfer, Blending Services for the Next Generation, to tell us about that dissertation. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone, and it's really nice to be here. I usually like to start my presentations by quoting the movie Matrix, by saying the Matrix is everywhere. And I don't know if this is a movie that you know. It's from 1999, so it's more than 20 years old now, and almost 20 years old. And it's, I think it's one of my favorite movies, and I think that in this movie they really were able to predict the future in a very good way, because today the matrix is everywhere, also in this room right now. And what I mean by this is that the virtual dimension or the digital dimension is at the moment present everywhere we go. It's in the buses, and it's in when we go to lunch, and when we meet friends, and when we are at home, and even when we go to our summer cottages, we bring our smartphones and tablet computers and bring the digital dimension with us there too. So that's kind of the starting point, and that's also of my dissertation and what I'm going to talk to you about today. I'm not going to, this is not a presentation of a certain or a particular service, but it's more a presentation of a general idea or a framework for how we could think about social work today when the matrix is everywhere. So I've studied the matrix or the virtual since around 2005, when I did my master's thesis. And in the thesis I studied this virtual or online service for young people, where they could write about difficulties in life and where they got answers. This was a private service, and the idea was that I was to continue this study, but I didn't, and I will tell you why in a bit. But still, I've been interested in the use of ICT, information and communication technology, among young people and young adults, and how they use it when they face difficulties in life. And the reason why I didn't continue my study on this particular online service was because it was actually shut down. And the reason for why it was shut down is the development in the field. Young people do like to get answers right away, so they prefer chats or discussion forums, not these private services where they need, or they have to wait for the answer a while, and that's why the popularity of this service went down, and instead there was these online discussion forums presented by this organization. Yes, the development has been fast during the last 10 years, and that's why also I have adapted my research in a way, since it also has continued for the last 10 years. The Web 2.0 and social media, and as I told you, or as the story I told you in the beginning, the tablet computers and smartphones has changed the way we use the digital and how we interfere with the digital dimension. And now the internet and the matrix is really everywhere. To still prove my point, some facts about the ICT use in Finland. This is the most recent facts by the statistics from, this is statistics from 2015, about a year ago. 68% of the Finns aged 16 to 89 use the internet several times a day. And among younger age groups, it's of course more. The 16 to 24 uses it, of them 89%, and 24 to 34, 90% use the internet several times a day. And the internet use is still increasing among the oldest age groups. That's the only age group where the internet use is still increasing. And I think it's not so much because of that old people start using it, but it's because the younger generations get older and come into that age group. So in about 20 years, these numbers will be totally different, and much bigger part also of the oldest age group will be using the internet. And the most common purposes of use among all Finns is visiting the websites of broadcasting companies, reading online newspapers, playing games, watching videos, or listening to music. I don't know how many of you maybe use Spotify for listening to music, or like to go on YouTube to watch video clips. Also, email and social media are popular, or among the most common purposes of use. And this is among all age groups, so it's not only the youngest ones, but it's among all of us. So I call this way of living, where we blend the virtual and the not virtual, the face-to-face and the digital. I call it that it blended lives, and that we live blended lives at the moment. And Luciano Floridi, who is an Italian philosopher and also has been into looking at the digital development, he says that we are probably the last generation to experience a clear difference between offline and online. And this is really something that I also found out when I interviewed some young people, and I asked them, can you tell me exactly when you are online and when you are offline? And they weren't able to define when they are offline and when they are online, because they always carry with them their smartphone, and they are always logged into Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat, and they have all these services, and it's always when they take out their phone, they have a lot of messages there, and they are always both online and offline. So they definitely live very blended lives, these young people. And I think it's, if you think about your use of ICT, you might have the same experience, especially if you are among the a little bit younger generation. Then it might be something that's part of your everyday also. So it gets harder to experience a clear difference between when we are offline and when we are online. And I think this is a fact that we can't hide from anymore. And yeah, so I argue that blended lives need blended services, and I've developed this idea of blended social work using blended learning that's probably or maybe familiar to you from before. And I've used the definition of blended learning by Garrison and Vaughan from 2008, where they say that blended learning is thoughtfully integrated face-to-face and online learning. And it's about fundamentally rethinking the course design to optimize student engagement. And it's also about restructuring and replacing traditional class contact hours. And I think it's really good also for you who deal with teaching and learning to look at this definition and think, is this what you are doing when you're blending learning? This is, of course, the ideal, or this is like a definition made by researchers, but anyway. So I've used this definition, and I tried to adapt it to social work. So blended social work would then be thoughtfully integrating face-to-face and online social work, and fundamentally rethinking social work practice to optimize client engagement. And that's something that's been discussed a lot for a long while now in social work, that the client should be more engaged in social work and in working with social workers. So I think here's a good opportunity to really engage clients. And it's also about restructuring social work to enhance socially shared and open information. And I think this is comes really close to what the previous presenter was talking about also, both the client engagement and this of enhancing socially shared and open information. So what does this then, or what do I mean more concretely by this? Is that in practice, blended social work could be that in some cases, when you consider the preconditions of the client, it may lead to using exclusively offline tools. And by this I mean when you look at the client and the situation of the client and evaluate it, you as a social worker might find out that meeting face-to-face and doing traditional social work would be the best for this client. But in another case, when you evaluate the client and the situation, it might start with these traditional meetings, but maybe the client moves a little bit further away from the social work office, or maybe he or she is in an accident and is unable to come to the office and to all meetings. So then it might be good to also have these online tools that you can use for those kinds of situations, and then you can start blending in also these online tools and online practices in this client case. And the third case might start with online contact, and the first meetings might be online, and then gradually you include also offline practices. And the fourth alternative is to work with the clients exclusively in an online environment. So the first contact and during the whole case, you will always be in contact only online. And yes. So blended social work offers like a new dimension for social workers. What I forgot to tell you in the beginning is that healthcare services, doctors and nurses have been more open to taking these digital tools into use, but social workers have been quite reluctant towards adapting digital tools, and face-to-face meetings are still valued very high. So this is like the one of the basic things you should know, and that's why I now think that it would be important to besides these traditional face-to-face tools, also take into use these online tools, or use also the virtual dimension in when you plan meetings with clients and client cases, and evaluate what would be the best for the client in this case. And also, of course, discuss with the client what would he or she prefer. So blended social work means that a new dimension for meeting clients is introduced. And this makes social work more accessible, and it makes the meetings more flexible. And I think, or one of the things I really like to stress, and I need to stress, is that I'm not talking about choosing either or, but I'm talking about adding a dimension and adding a new tool to practice. So I'm not saying that every social worker should now start meeting their clients only using online tools. But if you remember the definition of blended social work, it's thoughtfully thinking about and evaluating every situation when you meet a client. What would be best in this situation when I have all these tools, both the traditional ones and the new online ones? Well, what's the pros of the virtual dimension? This is a little bit now. I'm taking a leap here now, and partly also and also looking back at the statistics I showed you in the beginning. So we are really keen on using ICT for playing games, for listening to music, to looking at video clips and things like that, for entertainment purposes mainly. And that's something that's, it's the case among both youth and adults in general. So this is maybe then one of the new things that I'm introducing. And the idea is that it would be good to evaluate and think of how we could increase the use of pictures, videos, and games as tools in social work practice, because obviously this is something people in general really like to engage with online. So that would be, I think, really good. And also when we come to the cons of the virtual dimension as it is right now, ICT skills and the risk of marginalization. So still today, the social media and things online are very much, the communication is very much based on having good reading and writing skills. So by introducing more pictures, video clips and things like that, we could maybe enhance also the participation of people who have difficulties with writing and reading in the online dimension. And I think especially about young people who might lack the appropriate education and have problems with reading and writing. For them, also being able to engage and get help by maybe playing a game or watching a video or listening to a pod or something like that would be really good. And the development of online games that are used in social and healthcare services is there is especially in the US they are already developing these games and trying them out, and they have gotten really good experiences from using also games and things like that for helping especially young people and children. And so that's would be a really good thing to introduce to prevent further marginalization among especially young people. Yeah. Now I'm actually asking you to maybe question or argue something else here. The blended social work framework is still under development. I will develop it further. This is just like a prototype. And I have this postdoctoral study titled "Do Blended Lives Among People in Transfer ICT Use Among Migrants in the US and Finland." It's under planning, and I also got a little bit money for this, and I'm going to apply for some more, and that's what I think in the actual situation right now, it would be really useful to look at how our ICT could be used also among migrants to sort of integrate them into new communities and also look at how ICT helps people who move to keep in touch with the people left behind, families and friends, and which also, of course, makes it easier to adjust in the new environment when you know that your family and friends are safe back home. So these are questions I'd like to look into more and research in the next stage. So, well, what thoughts and comments might you have on this? Do you have any questions? Yes?
I'm a student, I'm enrolled in this course, and I am a practical nurse. So my question is that because you comment that one of the positive things about this blended social work will be like the demarginalization of like population, especially young people. But then I have been thinking that one of the problems, for example, that I can see is that nowadays, especially the young people are including or excluding themselves with the online and internet. So how have you think about how you will or how a social worker or society will address that problem? Because I think that, for example, like in Japan, that young people, one of the biggest problems is that exactly that they are so much depending on the online about everything, that the real world is kind of like disappearing for them. So I can see your point when you say that it's good that in some cases the online way will be like maybe exclusively the only one. And I can see, like, for example, with children, that it's okay, because many times it's very difficult. Like as a worker myself, I can find many times difficult that kids or teenage open up to me. So it will be nice, the online. But I would like to know if you have any thought about how it will be, how we can address that they don't.
This is a really good question, and that's why I'm talking about the blendedness and the thoughtfully always evaluating the situation of the client. So if there's a client who is really living his or her life online, of course it would be good, and maybe she has like social phobias and they have problems with facing people face to face, then you shouldn't use the online dimension. Then you should use the offline tools and ask the client to meet you face to face. At least try to get the person to come out and meet you. Maybe this kind of person might find the social worker or the help he or she needs in the online. But if you are the person who he or she contacts, then you should evaluate the situation and see that this is a person who would really gain from coming out from the virtual world and meeting face to face. So that's what I mean by not using one or the other, but always evaluate the situation and use the tools that are best for the client.
And I work here as a principal lecturer in the healthcare sector. Thank you for an interesting presentation. I don't understand almost anything about this social media stuff and so on. But anyway, in the healthcare sector, we are continuously saying or claiming that everything is changing. That's not true. Everything is not changing. There are fundamental elements that do stay and should be valued. What do you think about the social care sector? What are the fundamentals that are not going to change during the next millennium or so? What's your perception of that?
That's a really big question, and a good question. Well, I think that the human contact in one way or the other is needed forever and ever and ever. So. And then it's the social workers and also the clients together with the social worker need to find the way of meeting. It might be online and it might be offline, but getting a channel or a place or a mean for meeting or contact. That's what I'm talking about, and that's the most important thing, and that will probably be like forever, yes. And there were some other questions too.
There are 2 questions.
Oh, okay, up on the board. So somebody should do research about why social workers still choose face-to-face meetings and what's the benefit. Well, there's a lot of research done on the benefits of face-to-face meetings, and when you read research on should we use online tools or should we meet traditionally face-to-face? The arguments are usually that when you meet face-to-face, you can hear, if it's, well, usually it's always about, or the thought is that the virtual meeting is in text and then you don't, yeah. But today it's also possible to meet using video cams and things like that. But usually social workers who argue that the face-to-face meeting is better is that in the virtual meeting you always miss something, maybe some gestures or the tone of your voice or something like that. And always also the something, how does the client smell? Has he or she washed her hair, and does he or she have dirty or clean clothes on, and things like that? That's the things you can't. If you meet virtually, you're not able to feel and smell and know these things about your clients. Yeah. But I think this is also developing in a way because young people are expressing themselves and they are also used to sort of involve with people in the online dimension in a different way than we are. We who remember the times when the face-to-face meeting was the only way of meeting. So I think this will also develop, and when the people who are really young and children now in 20 years will be practicing social workers and healthcare workers, they might not think of these things as such big problems as we think today, because they have different ways of perceiving the person they are in contact with in the virtual dimension. I don't know if that answered the question. But the person who asked this question, just go on Google Scholar or something like that. You will find a lot of research on these themes. And you can also read my dissertation and look at my references. I refer to many of these studies too. Yes, that's a really good question. What kind of competencies do our students need in order to manage blended social work? I think it's the teachers who need the competencies in a way, because, and I think it's also a way of that we have to change the way we think about these things, because I think it's most of us use online tools and most of us live blended lives, but in a way we leave them outside the classroom when we come to study and to teach. And instead we might, or we should maybe think, how could we use these online tools also in our teaching and learning, and engage students in maybe, instead of turning in a paper, maybe doing a video clip of as like an exam for a course. And this could also be really useful for the next generation of students, and maybe also for clients if it's about something that could be something how you find out about some kind of services, for example, or how you should act in a situation when you have a certain problem, maybe with substance abuse or something like that, and then you could also maybe use it with clients who could get help from watching this video on how they should, what's the steps for getting help, for example, in a certain situation. So yes, I think it's about turning something in our head and not living the virtual and the social media and the virtual dimension of our lives outside the classroom or the learning process and teaching process. But also in a way do the blended learning and this blending of learning thoughtfully. So I mean, you should really think about when it's good to use online tools, and what would be a good course to do the exam by a video clip or something like that, instead of next year every course has an exam that means that the students need to make a video. So it's really important to also remember the traditional things, the face-to-face, both in teaching and in social work practice. I don't know, that's maybe it was a little bit unclear maybe, but maybe you got an idea. Yep. Well, that's all. If there's no more questions, I thank you a lot for your attention. Yeah, there's still one. Yeah, I have some references, and you can find my thesis online. And this is, I think, a really good picture, and especially for social workers. I think I usually show this, and these people say that it's we need to rethink our strategy of hoping that the internet will just go away, because it won't. It's part of our life. So thank you.
Next up we have Health Spa, which is not a traditional spa, but something in the digital era. And here to tell us about Health Spa is Hanna Vartija. Welcome.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Hanna Vartija and I work as a main coordinator at HealthSpa. So we are a Finnish health startup association. So I'm here to tell a little bit of what we do, who we are, and what's kind of our views on this change, what has been addressed here a few times already. Sorry, could you go closer? Better? Yes, all right. I'm too short for this. Okay. Yeah, so basically we are a non-profit association and about 4 years old now, founded in 2012. And basically our goal is to enable cross-border collaboration on this field, especially with startups and then public sector, corporates, other startups and universities and students. So really to kind of get the collaboration working on this field and make it easy for the startups to make relevant connections. And basically the whole story started 4 years ago when our founders, imagine or not, or believe it or not, that 4 years ago nobody was really talking about too much on the change in health. It was more about, especially in the startup world, it was more about gaming, you know, Rovio and Supercell were booming back then and everybody was focusing on that field more. But then our founders kind of saw that, okay, there's something bubbling under on the health too, that there's a lot of solutions developed to that also. But what they also addressed that there wasn't really any community built around it, that it was pretty hard as a single startup to really meet the other startups, kind of share knowledge, share experiences and learnings, and then also kind of go to talk to the other parties on this field. So that's when kind of HealthSpa was founded to address that issue. And first we just had like dozens of people in smaller get-togethers and meetings. So basically our founders just invited people they knew, you know, friends and families together on this matter. And slowly the whole events and activities started developing further. And today we are happy to say that actually the numbers should be updated. We have been working with more than 300 startups during these years. And also we are the founder and organizer of the Upgraded Life Festival, which has grown to be the biggest health startup event in the Nordics. It was just held a few weeks back. I don't know if some of you participated there, but yeah, I will tell you a little bit more about that also in the later slides. Yeah, so this is also a little bit of the numbers I mentioned, that we are also the largest health startup ecosystem in the Nordics. And actually when we look also even in the European level, we haven't encountered anything similar. That in a way we have very unique ecosystem around this and like very vivid, and people know each other well and really kind of share the learnings, which is really great to notice. And then we have been working with over 4,000 individuals during the past years. And also as I said, non-profits so we are by the community, for the community, and for the good of all. Yeah, this is also a little bit what other speakers also referred before. So the whole health sector is really booming around the world and also in Finland. It's at the moment the largest high-tech sector, and it represents nearly half of all the high-tech exports. And as you see, in this economic situation, when many other fields have been going down, the health sector is still increasing really vividly and rapidly. So that's of course really good for both for the economy and also for the health of people, because the solutions are developed for that. So this is now mostly run by the big corporates operating in Finland, but you can see more and more that the startups who are actually now going to developing further are also giving their share for this. Yeah, and actually then just referring to some of the late news that have been, for example, now OP, I don't know if some of you spotted that they are investing billions to health scene, and then there is a lot of, for example, then Nokia, they acquired Withings, which is developing these activity trackers. So there's a lot of trends where big corporates are also targeting and seeing, like looking to the health sector and seeing like, okay, what's in it for them? Because many of them notice that and know that there will be a major change on the health scene, that how we see it and how it kind of operates. And you can even look back to the media industry, for example, that, you know, like a few years back, it was mostly about papers and prints and those kind of things. But now very rapidly it has changed to online media, and many of the old corporates are struggling, and kind of that it's really hard as a big organization to really answer rapidly to those changes. So yeah, many are kind of seeing that this same change will come to the health also, and everybody's trying to get their shares out of it and also get prepared for that. Yeah, so here's a little bit about our methods, how we operate. So basically, we have a strong belief in collaboration, as I have mentioned a few times. We want to connect the people by events and other projects. We want to really encourage the sharing culture, that sharing experience, sharing good conducts, learnings, and also like mistakes, like what you shouldn't do. And then we hope that all this kind of will be shown in a growth of both the health of the people and also for the economy. Yeah, so also to take it a little bit more concrete level, I picked 3 cases just to tell a little bit more what we do. So I think the first one is maybe the most kind of maybe interesting for you. So it was called Public Health Booster, and it was organized last year. And we did it together with Laura University of Applied Sciences and Vantaa City. So basically the idea was to address challenges in the healthcare of Vantaa City and then use students to kind of, or basically the whole project went so that the students went to interview the nurses, the patients, startups, and also some people from the higher level of Vantaa City Healthcare, and then they were collecting IDs and improvements from their side. And then the students started kind of sorting them out and picking the most relevant ones, the ones which had been mentioned the most. And then those IDs and improvements were brought to the workshop where we had the students and then the healthcare workers and startups brainstorming together those challenges, okay, what could be done to really solve them. And then in the end they all presented their IDs, and it was really nice to see actually that one of the groups really started taking their ID further, and they kind of came then back to us and were like, okay, we have this ID now, what can we do with it, how can we move forward with it, and then we help them to make some good connections to validate their ID. And then the next case is Kertomalla Paranee project. And this is done together with HUCH Cancer Center, Novartis, UPM, Helsinki Business Hub, and Sitra. And that it has some similarities to the first one, that it also gathers challenges and ideas to improve the daily life of cancer patients. And actually we are now just on the process of collecting those IDs. And the website is you can submit your IDs on the website, which is set on the slide. So I strongly encourage you that if you have seen somebody, like if there's someone you know who has had a cancer, or you have noticed some things that should be improved in the care, it would be great if you can go to the website and really kind of write it down, so then it comes back to us, all the people behind this thing, and then on the autumn we will start kind of making those to more practical level and thinking really like, okay, what can we do for these things that have been addressed? And one actually we have got about 150 IDs already, so we're really happy with the number. And one ID which was pretty nice was, for example, a wig that wouldn't be itchy or wouldn't be so sweaty. Like, as a person who had never had a cancer and had those kind of problems, it's something you wouldn't necessarily think about. But then again, it might be a major thing for the social life of the patient, that if they cannot have a wig which is not itching all the time and which is not very sweaty, they just don't want to go out because they don't want to wear it. And then again, they don't want everybody to notice that they are a cancer patient. So all these, like, even seemingly small IDs can really change the life of the patient. So we really hope that we can make a difference with this project. And then the third case is Digital Health at Work. So that was more kind of an event base. It was organized by Sitra, and then we were there as a facilitator and collaborator in the project. And in that we brought together big corporates and startups on the field of occupational health to kind of hear inspirational speeches and also the results of this pilot project, which was conducted by Sitra. So just few kind of projects that we have been doing, and we are basically all the time kind of tailoring these ideas and things based on the requests and needs from the partners and organizations that we work with. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any questions at this point? We can also take some questions in the end, if you wish. Yeah, so then I can jump to the Upgraded Life Festival, which I mentioned a bit before. So this is, as I said, the biggest health startup and innovations event in the Nordics nowadays. A few weeks back we had about 1,150 people, so it has grown really rapidly. On the 3 years back when it was organized first time, there was about 450 people. Last year 950, and then a few weeks back it was 1,150. And this also, kind of like how the Health Spa story began, that this event was organized based on a need. So what we noticed is, okay, you have Slush, you have Arctic 15, more kind of general startup events, which are focusing more on the startups and investor kind of matchmaking. And then you have these eHealth fairs for doctors, researchers, in more kind of traditional fair type of events. And then we wanted to bring these two closer to each other, because we really feel that nurses and doctors and researchers and social workers should all be involved in this kind of innovative phase, and these two worlds should meet very early on, so the solutions which are developed would really match the needs. And then again, that the startups would really understand how how that world operates, because many startups, they might have a health solution, but they might have nobody on their team who has a health kind of background or knowledge on that too much. So that's why we are targeting with this event both the startups and then doctors, nurses, corporates, public sector, and basically the whole ecosystem operating in this. So this is just a quick overview of the elements that we have in there. So we have 3 stages with keynotes and panels. Then there's an exhibiting area. We had about 85 or almost 90 exhibitors this year. Then there's matchmaking tool where you can book one-to-one meetings. Then there's awards in the end of the event, product launches, and then workshops we had this year for the first time, organized by our partners to kind of offer this more hands-on experience. Here's just a quick picture set of our team. So I'm the main coordinator and also Upgrade Life Festival producer. Then we have also Bogdana, who is taking care of our other project starting in the autumn. And then Maria Nygård is here today with me. So I unfortunately have to leave quite soon, or I think there might be a break after this. But I have to leave before the lunch, but Maria might be able to stay a little bit longer. So if you have any questions, she's happy to answer. And then our founders, Sebastian, Kenneth, and Christian, who are kind of, Health Spa is kind of a hobby for them, more like an evening and weekend job, and then we 3 are the workers in there. Here's just a quick picture of our partners and collaborators over the past years. And it's really nice to see that so many companies are interested on this, that are really striving for the collaboration and are really looking to the startups. Because as I mentioned a bit before, that big corporates are sometimes a bit slow in kind of making new things and innovating and really implementing the things. So they are using then startups to get new solutions faster and get more agile in the product development. So that's kind of the trend that has been seen by many companies. And then it's a nice, actually, I would like to point out Kaiku, which is solution offered by NetMedi, the company. So basically NetMedi has been with us the whole 4 years. They were very early, like they were basically founded around the same time as Health Spa, and now we have been kind of both growing together and we have been supporting them in these years. And now kind of the whole loop closed when they became our partners in the Upgrade Life Festival event. So kind of we supported them as a community, and now they are kind of giving it back to the community. So that's those stories we hope to hear even more. And we have also some international partners. That's some of the things that we are also tapping into. to how can we also support more in the international networking. So if you got interested about the Upgrade Life Festival, it was just held, but it will be back next year for 2 days. Last year's it was only 1 day. And yeah, so if you, and actually there's now quite a sweet deal if you act fast, that next Friday will the super early bird ticket, or until next Friday there will be the super early bird ticket for 79 euros. So yeah, in case you got interested. Yeah, I think that's it from my side. Here's my contact information. If you have any questions later on, I'm happy to, you can always call me or email me. We're always eager to hear how we can also maybe work with Arcada and see how we could collaborate, and very happy for the invitation here. So yeah, now thank you, and if you have any questions now or later on. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Hanna. I can warmly recommend the Upgraded Life Festival, having attended this year. It's very inspirational, so book the dates, everyone. Thank you. And buy the tickets here. Now we will have a 5-minute break, and then we will continue with Beat to Phone. Next up is Panu from Beat to Phone. Welcome.
Well, thank you. So now we are moving to the world of mobile technology. How mobile gadgets can help us to live our lives better. Okay, this work actually started at VTT, the Technical Research Center of Finland, first as a hobby by one of our team members, and then more seriously during the previous 3 years. And last autumn, we established the company Vital Signum, mentioned there, which is now commercializing the technology and making the device available to everybody. Okay, as an introduction or a summary, I would first like to show a short video. And I have also a demo. I'm wearing the device at the moment, and I would like to show it to you also. The problem is that the screen is this size, and you are so far. But let's see. Anyway, for example, during lunch, you can come and grab me if you want to see how it works, really.
As we get older, the risk of heart problems increase, but identifying heart conditions can be hard, as symptoms are not always present in medical examinations. 10% of people have some kind of heart symptoms. With Beat to Phone, you can record your EKG signal where and whenever needed, even while sleeping. The information can then easily be sent through Beat to Phone's cloud service straight to your doctor to assist and help with diagnosis. For athletes, Beat to Phone is a great device for preventing burnout and overtraining. It recognizes arrhythmia in real time, but still works like a regular heart rate monitor. Beat to Phone, a simple, reliable, and easy-to-use device and mobile application for monitoring your heart. Beat to Phone. Discover your heart.
So that actually explained most of what I'm going to talk about, because I have to spend half an hour to the presentation, so I will partly repeat what there was. So why did we want to develop this kind of a device? There's a large part of the population who have some kind of a heart symptoms. 5% of us have arrhythmia symptoms. For example, I have, even presently, if I looked at the screen of my mobile phone. 10% have cardiac-related symptoms, arrhythmias, but also ischemia, and so on. And there's also, all over in the developed world, a great demand to reduce the number of hospital beds. So they want the patients to come as late as possible to the hospital and get out of the hospital also as soon as possible after the operation. So there is a demand for tools how to ensure that everything is going okay, both before coming to the hospital and during the recovery process. No complications arise and everything is going as planned. So, and the last topic is not a challenge, it's actually an opportunity to us. There's a big market in remote monitoring. In USA alone, it's about $7 billion. But the problem is that it's hard to identify the heart problems. One reason is that the symptoms can come and go, and when you go to the doctor for medical examinations, the symptoms are not present. And sometimes you are given a so-called Holter device that you wear for typically 1 day, but the symptoms may not appear during that day either. And it's also quite expensive examination. It needs trained personnel and so on. So that's why we developed Beat2Phone. It consists of a device that you put around your chest, and then an app which runs in the mobile phone. So Beat2Phone enables to identify the symptoms whenever and wherever you are, at work, at home, during sleep, during rest. So, so it increased the probability of catching the symptom when it's on. It enables remote monitoring, so that we can detect as early as possible if the patient condition is getting worse. We can also monitor outpatient recovery with the device. So with this device, we can reduce the number of readmissions to hospital and cut the overall healthcare expenses also. And this is the concept. So the user puts the device on when he or she feels the symptoms. The data goes to the mobile phone. Part of the analysis is done in the phone, and part of the analytics can be done in the cloud. And if there's something alarming, there will be a warning sent to the healthcare professional, a doctor or nurse, and the cardiologist can then look at the data, and then the patient can be contacted almost in real time if needed. So we have identified several use cases where this device can be used. One is the screening and diagnosis of cardiac conditions that have not been diagnosed. Otherwise, one very severe problem is atrial fibrillation, because it can lead, for example, to stroke or death. Other types of arrhythmias also, but also other undiagnosed heart symptoms. It can be used for post-diagnosis follow-up or post-operation follow-up, for monitoring the rehabilitation process, and for analyzing if the patient needs to be called back. Because of the high quality of the signal, it can be used for cardiology in general also, especially if there is a need for low-cost telecardiology. It can be used in elderly care, in home care, but one one potential use case is cardiology in developing countries. We have discussed with people from India, from Africa, who see a great potential for this kind of a device. For example, in rural areas in India or in Africa. So a nurse can get a high-quality ECG. It can be sent via cloud to a specialist in a nearby city, and the diagnosis can be obtained almost anywhere on the planet. Here are some numbers concerning the outpatient monitoring after cardiac operation. In EU alone, there are about 150,000 catheter ablations done, mostly to arrhythmia or atrial fibrillation patients. And one operation costs up to 16,000 euros. One hospital stay duration is up to 4 days, and one hospital day costs up to 1,500 euros. So it's a huge cost. It's billions of euros, and our device allows automatic, almost real-time abnormality detection. It allows to shorten the hospitalization periods, and it also allows almost real-time response to complications. So there are some devices which provide similar functionality at the moment. So what's the difference between us and those? So one reason is the signal quality in our device. It's as good as it actually can be, because it's limited by the thermal noise of the human body itself. So the only way to make it better is to cool down the user or freeze the user, but that causes other complications. So, and we have also put a big effort on developing the user interface as easy as possible, so that even elderly people can use it without difficulties. We have also algorithms that detect most common arrhythmias and ischemic conditions automatically. And as I told, the data is sent to the cloud and from there to the medical professionals automatically. And also we have already tested and demonstrated other vital sign parameters like the blood pressure, oxygen saturation. We can also detect the body temperature and respiration, which gives added value for predictive analysis. So we have also tested the system in a medical trial in collaboration with Åbo University Hospital with Professor Juhani Airaksinen and his team there. The challenge in Turku was that there were a lot of elderly people who had had heart symptoms that could not be diagnosed at hospital. So we tested the concept that the device and a smartphone were given to the test group, and then the users, typically elderly ladies, made home recordings unassisted in the morning and in the evening and whenever they had symptoms. The result was first that the test group, they could provide very high quality electrocardiogram, which was sent to the hospital from the phone automatically. We also have detected 5 atrial fibrillation cases in the rather small test group of 30 subjects. Here is one example of the recordings provided from the users in this trial. This is from a good day. There's a nice sinus rhythm. You can see also the so-called P wave, which comes before the QRS complex, shown at the top left corner. And the blue line at the bottom is the heart rate, the beat-to-beat heart rate, and it's rather stable. There is some rise and decline due to physical activity, but everything is okay. Then another day, the same patient provides this kind of ECG. For the top left corner, you can see that there's no P wave visible. Also, you can see that the R peaks, the distance between the R beats is very variable. There are short intervals, but there are also long intervals. And if you look at the bottom blue curve, which is the heart rate, you can see that it's varying almost chaotically between 60 beats up to something like 140 beats. So this is a typical case of atrial fibrillation. Here is another example, a rather young fellow, an enthusiastic endurance sports practitioner who also had some problems, or symptoms at least, which had not been diagnosed. And when he heard about our device, he asked, could he get one for testing. And he was given one device, and he used it. Here is an example when he was doing a cross-trainer practice, and then he complained that the device stopped working at one point, that there was no heart rate signal coming out. And then my colleague Timo at VTT then studied the signal and noticed that actually the device didn't stop working, but his heart stopped working properly. You see that the almost normal-looking QRS complex on the upper row is completely different in the lower row. And this is a typical case of a so-called bundle branch block, where the electrical signal is not propagating as it should to the ventricles of the heart. So the ventricles are not synchronized anymore, and then the QRS complex gets very distorted and broad. So without this device, this condition would not have been diagnosed, and now he has been told that he should be aware of not getting his heart rate so high that it triggers this condition. Okay, so we have a nice team which combines both medical expertise, technological expertise, and commercialization expertise. And with this team, we hope that in the near future we will be able to start delivering these devices to hospitals and also consumers who are afraid or aware of their condition. Okay. So thank you.
You said that the concept is the device, the user device, and the professional. But is there already or forming a society or community for users, among users?
I don't know about such a community that would analyze the electrocardiogram signal.
No, but I mean for sport, when you said that there were sports also use it, just for talking about results.
Well, there are all kinds of communities but I'm not sure if for specifically this topic there is, but I'm sure that there will be in the near future.
Thank you.
Hi, I would like to know because at the hospital when I'm working, most of the cases they are this, I don't know how it's in English, this sydämenvajan-toiminta. So I think that this device is very nice. But is there any device coming or already on the market that because most of the people having these heart failures are people with Alzheimer. So the problem with them is that, of course, they will forget and they will, especially if they are living alone at home. So is there any device that can assure, because many times, as you put on the slide, they are coming to the hospital and we are just measuring like the blood pressure or saturation. So it's very expensive, but like anything that will make sure that the patient can have this device, even he's having Alzheimer, for example. So the doctor, I mean, if I don't know how to explain, but if there is any way that we can reassure really that this patient will keep it on it, something that goes under skin or something.
Well, this device might help in the case of heart failure also, but in the case of heart failure, I think one of the most clear symptoms is that there will be body fluid accumulating. And the idea is that the next version of the device, which will combine these vital signs, could also detect the accumulation of fluid. And so then it could be used also for monitoring the condition of heart failure patients. Well, if the user is very old and having some memory problems already, then it might be difficult to use it independently. But typically for such patients, there will be home nurses that go to the home if he or she is still living at home. And then those could help in putting the device on and making a short recording, I think. Was that an answer to your question?
Yeah, I think that maybe what you mean is that it's a little bit like the previous presentation was that in this case will be cases that the user cannot use it like completely independently.
Yeah, then he or she might need assistance from the nurse that is visiting anyway.
But it still is like cutting down the costs of the hospital.
Yeah, because she doesn't need to be transported to the hospital, which is a cost issue, and no special medical personnel is needed for. She doesn't need to go to a doctor and so on. So surely it will cut down the costs.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? Stress is an unknown concept here at Arcada. I don't know if you agree with me, but there are now luckily new ways to measure stress and maybe also take care of stress. And here to tell us about that is Nina Venho from Mood Metric. Welcome.
Hi all, and thank you for the invite to come here to Arcada to talk to you. I think I was here last year. I'm not sure if some of you was here then. This will be a little bit different from what you saw last year, so listen carefully. It's this one, right click and left, right. Good. The topic is unstress as a service, and I will come to that in a minute. First, a bit generic about us. So Stress is something that you might all suffer of, but it's really difficult to admit to yourselves. Firstly, that I would be a person to stress, and that we have symptoms of stress, that somebody else could see that I'm stressed. That would be the worst. So most of us, often already students, are stressed, and it might get worse. When you get to work, you have small children, you have everything going on, so your life might be really hectic. What most of us see that, okay, I will be stressed now, but it will go away, and they do not really count what it might cost them in the long term. In US, they are counting that the stress costs are approximately $300 billion annually. For corporates, that means. So it's absenteeism, it might be accidents at work, it might be really long-term sick leaves due to stress. So kind of big bodies are already interested in stress because it costs money. Before, they were rather personal tragedies. Even if corporates are looking at this issue, we at Mood Magic think that firstly it starts from your personal insight. You need to understand that now I am stressed. I have been for a long time, and maybe I should do something about it. It's not that somebody else always says that you look pretty tired. That might be something that you might have to give a thought to, but you need to realize it yourself. We have developed a ring. It's this ring I'm wearing right here, together with an app. And this ring measures the sympathetic nervous system activation. Your nervous system is something not related to what you think. It works without thinking. And the sympathetic part is the fight or flight response. When you see the tiger, your reaction level goes up. That's what the ring measures. It measures from your palmar skin. This is the best place to measure. If you go to a laboratory, in hospitals, I think they do have devices, and psychology labs, they do have. They measure from the tips of your finger. We have miniaturized this measurement and made it wearable. The app, you see some screenshots here. It is already working. So like the ring is available for purchase and the app is working, but I don't have the demo here with me now. So you see real time your stress level. It's the numbers that go up, and it's also a curve that shows you peaks. So it is something very realistic, something in front of your eyes to see that now something is happening to me. This flowery thing you see at the upper right corner, that's the daily picture. It's a clock from 6 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and there's also the night, so you can swipe your days. Red parts are stressful parts, and the beige areas are quite calm. My day yesterday was terrible. It was fully red, and it has, I think, never happened to me before. Normally I do have some green parts in the day and some purple, but not totally red. The average number, it's from 0 to 100, and your numbers you should look. My average was yesterday 84, and it should be like 50. So, and I noticed it. I was feeling not too good in the evening, physically, even though the stress was rather cognitive. It has been in use by researchers for a year already, used for cognitive research, reaction research, and also the medical world is interested. We have received a lot of requests of would this be a medical device as well. Currently we are on a wellness market, but it is a possibility that we will be a medical device one day. Because this measurement is not really present in the activity trackers, it's not to present in medical examinations, but it could bring additional value. And the topic of the day, health, well-being, and devices. There are a lot of activity trackers, a lot of devices that you can track yourselves. And as I mentioned, the organizations are interested in the high cost. So your employer might give the employees activity trackers to count the step count, whatever. Insurance companies, there already are insurance schemes where you get the reduction on the price if you wear a tracker. You don't even have to give out the figures. But maybe in 10 years, somebody will check your figures daily, and if they are good, you get a good discount on your insurance. And if your company gives you one device, an insurance company another device, and then you want to track yourself with a third device, you might be having an awful lot of devices and give reports to there and here. I think they will be a bit combined, so that might not be the future, but in theory. In Moonmetric, we believe in targeted services, meaning that everybody should be able to set a personal goal for your health. So, I don't know, I want to eat better, I want to take the 10,000 steps per day, and in our case, that I would like to know my stress levels and keep them down, apart from some peaks, but I would like to keep my stress levels under control limits, let's say so, in long term. So that's why we have very recently developed a service called Unstress as a Service. And that is for companies and organizations, so that if somebody in an organization says that, okay, my problem is that I'm too stressed, it's okay, I am physically active already, I'm eating well, but still I'm stressed. Would you, my employer, have something for me? And okay, we can buy you a Moonmetric as a service. And the length of the program could be anything from, let's say, 2 weeks to half a year. There would be the Moonmetric measurement, and in addition, coaching as much as the person wants, based on the measured data. The idea is that the person, him or herself, is an active player. So that I want to do something about this particular thing, and I'm ready to wear the device, I'm ready to look at the data, and I'm ready to discuss with a coach or even a doctor, a psychiatrist. Whoever would be the most relevant person, I'm ready to discuss with this person. This service is still in development stage, so we are starting piloting programs in the fall, first ones in the August. And we especially look for organizations who are keen on the new services, but not just we buy devices for everyone, we just give everyone the latest there is, but they need to have some idea behind. And therefore, the preventive work is the goal here. So I know that I might get too stressed with this project. I want to work with that beforehand, and not when everything is too late. And of course, the management needs to be behind the project. So if management is driving the employees crazy, it doesn't really help if they give them a Moonmetric ring. So we are not there to save the world at that point. It would include a rental of the rings, so also companies say that, okay, we'd like to buy, or we'd like to get Fitbits for everyone, but we don't want to buy them, because next year there might be a new device. So we are buying this device this year, and then, I don't know, they will be forgotten in drawers by, let's say, 70% of the people. 30% would continue using them, it would be great. We don't want to have our rings lying down in drawers, so there would be a rental possibility. And of course, if somebody wants to keep it after half a year, there's a possibility to buy a small fee and get the ring and own it. And there will be some degree of tailoring in the programs. There might be even a partner that the organization already works with, let's say, a mindfulness coach. So there might be cooperation with this partner that already is working with the company or organization. Let's go back a bit. So we aim for targeted things, and we aim for things to do with the mind. People that are keen to develop themselves already think, or most often think, that it's so much about the physical activity. If I do my marathons 2 times a year, I'm okay. But these high performers are normally the ones who wear themselves out really fast. They work long days, and then they run the marathon, and then they still want to have time to play with the kids and take the dog out and take the garbage out and everything, and it might be just too much. So we try to be moderate with the activity part. There's a step tracker in our ring as well. But if you're awfully stressed, then something that helps you to recover is better. Pilates, a light yoga, going for a walk, I don't know, just sitting on a porch. Oftentimes, if I look at my numbers, if I have a heavy day and do heavy sports, the numbers get worse, not better. So we help people to realize something during this period that they would work with the service. And this personal insight, I'd like you to remember, if you wear the Moonmetric ring for a week, you should have at least 2 ideas. This affects me like that. That stresses me out. That unstresses me. This I want to do more because evidently it's good for me. You can also track your sleep, so you can wear it through the night, and it shows very clearly when you fall asleep. If you have very deep sleep, then this flower, if you see the beige one, my colleague sleeps so that she gets 6 hours of very light beige circle there on the flower. Mine is not that restful, but it's like even without REM sleep. We haven't made official sleep studies, but if it's very low, the figure there, you're probably in a very good deep sleep mode. And I have 2 small children, and they wake me up, and that's always visible. So it's nice to see in the morning, how did I sleep? It's also stupid because people nowadays check their trackers to see how I sleep, how I move, whatever. But it also might prove something that you thought is already going on, and it is my proof for it. And I can even show my doctor that my nights are terrible, I can't sleep properly, my days are terrible, I just can't calm myself down. So that's the tool we are providing people. There, thank you. That's in short the presentation. Please, do ask some questions. There's one question on the board. All right. Very good. Very good question. In last 2 weeks, I have received 2 contacts regarding chronic pain, both from medical side and a bit out of the blue. I discussed with both of the persons who contacted me, and I really believe there's a possibility. Because if I'm in pain, sympathetic nervous system activation goes up. In constant pain, of course, my figures are high. I haven't been in such physical pain, luckily, in the past year, but when I'm ill, like even with a small flu, the numbers are high. So the body tries to fight and I try to work, even sitting on a couch, my figures are high. So these that you can see the pain in numbers, but the other person specifically asked that they are doing mindfulness and meditation programs for chronic pain patients, and those especially could help because with Moodmetric, if you look at this big number there, it goes down under 5 if you meditate well, if you really can focus your mind on something else than your pain or something else than what's going on. So they could help the patients to give measured data of their mind calming down. That would also then help with the pain. And we will probably have one trial with a medical partner even this summer on this specific topic. I don't know who asked, but you can ask if this was too short an answer, you ask another one. Like use cases, there have been questions, for instance, for elderly people, and okay, elderly people at home, what could it track? And we feel that this could be a quite good tracker of anxiety. So when you really get panicked there at home, that the person thinks that I've lost my keys, but okay, the person doesn't have keys anymore because it's not supposed to go out. So these kind of panic attacks that you might really get. So there it could be an alert that the person has been in really high numbers for past 15 minutes, that somebody should give a ring. This is something that would be very much in this area as well.
Could you use it for kids yet? Have you used it for children?
No. Maybe the reason is that our focus group as like individuals, as customers, has been from 30 years and up. Even not students have been such keen yet, and we don't have medical doctors in our team at the moment, so we don't know if children's nervous system works in the same way. We might draw some wrong conclusions, so we would like to do this trial with somebody who really knows how kids work inside.
I was thinking about dementia or people who have difficulties in expressing themselves.
Yeah, like Asperger's or anything that you might get very turbulent inside, but you can't express yourself. That is something also often discussed. But there also we would need a proper body to do this study with a group that the person knows very well. But that might be that, okay, John, you are reacting strongly, and then to find a way how to communicate with him. It might really work well. Sorry.
There are also some positive health effects of stress on a right level.
Correct.
How do you handle that?
We compare stress here with the equals to enthusiasm. So we are when you are excited or enthusiastic, the levels go up as well. Like here myself now, I think the numbers would be up because I'm speaking and I like the topic and I'm not stressed. And one of our slogans is that you need to recover also from being enthusiastic. So if I'm enthusiastic for 8 hours in a row, I'm really, really tired. Like after a fair day, when I've been talking to millions of people, I'm really, really tired in the evening. So you need to just distinguish this, that is it like negative stress, which is even worse, or am I just like a startup founder and so enthusiastic that I can't sleep? But there also you need to find ways for recovery. Very good question, because sometimes it's a fine line. One more. Okay.
How does it connect, the ring, does it connect to the phone by VLAN or Bluetooth?
It's Bluetooth. Actually, my phone is there charging, but I could quickly, is this camera working? It was last year. I could quickly show, just like 2 minutes, I think we have time. So I get my phone and I could show you. It's Bluetooth, and I can show you what you can see in real time. It was quite good last year. Picture here, direct on the screen.
Nu switchar man från den här till den.
Du kopplar den till lilla cykeln.
Ja, den till dokumentkameran. Ja, nu är det okej. Det är bara en stor punkt, va? Är den där? Ja. Är det det? Okej. Just det var monitor 1. Det var det där. Okej. Det var den här.
Yes. I will show you this. Okay, very good. These are the figures you get when you download the data at the end of the day. This is not real time, but it records up to 270 hours, and you can just press one sign, and it downloads these pictures. This last night, I fell asleep after 10, deep sleep, and then something woke me up. I had nightmares, and then I had deep sleep, few hours, and then bit restless sleep in the morning. And this was a terrible day yesterday. And this is Sunday, yeah. Not also very, very restful. And here is the average number for that 24 hours. And as it seems, like the demo effect always, I ran out of battery from the ring, not the phone, but it streams directly from the distance of 5 meters anywhere if I want to look at it. And there is this kind of practice feature which is especially planned for the meditation and mindfulness. So you, for instance, listen for meditation audio, and you push here start. It records 10 minutes and gives you a curve how your mind calmed down during that practice. So these are the current features. We haven't put too many in yet, so that it would be very simple to use. It's currently only on iOS, and we are planning to have the Android ready in the autumn. I will leave a few leaflets here and a few business cards, so just grab yours before going out so that you can reach me. So I'm happy to discuss more with you later. Today, unfortunately, I cannot stay. I was rushing here and rushing back, and I really apologize for that. Not good planning for me, but you can always contact me later. So thank you very much.
Okay, hello. I'm Pontus Blomberg, founder and CEO of 3D Studio, based in Vasa. Company was founded 2001. We come from the visualization perspective, where we transform thoughts, blueprints, ideas into 3D animations and experiences. Today we are a quality management system certified company. We work mainly towards industrial companies, but we are here now to explore how our knowledge in industrial can have sort of synergies with medical, health and safety. Because we feel that of course many of the companies in medical also come from an engineering point of view, as they are producers of machines and equipment and so on. Digitalization is a hot topic today, but what comes out of the digitalization when we gather data? Oh, sorry. We gather data, we have to filter it, and we have to try and understand it. And we have to have up-to-date information. And if this is in a visual form, then we are on the right track. We see visualization like an orange. It's full of vitamins, and it's spherical like the globe. and the orange has seeds which can fall to the ground, and new orange trees can grow, and we get more and more oranges, and that's a bit like visualization. If you plan it correctly and you understand the possibilities, then you can have a visual model that you can sort of utilize in many different ways and in many applications, various platforms and hardware. So this is what will happen. We get lots of more vitamins and added value. We come from animation, images point of view. We have quite extensive knowledge in this field. It's quite rare. We have realized when we start moving around the world, exploring what is out there, and now we take all that knowledge and we package it into interactive applications, virtual reality and augmented reality, and these types of emerging technologies give many kinds of unexplored possibilities for assisting a person with visual applications. We can have experiences that completely turn the mindset of a person in just seconds. We do a lot of heavy R&D. We are involved in quite big R&D projects nationally, also internationally. And we try to sort of pale where this industry is going within the industrial field, now also in medical. There's a bit of a problem or an obstacle in adopting new kinds of technologies like this in organizations. You have to be able to treat new things in a certain way. You have to be able to think in new ways, and you have to be able to make new decisions as an organization and as a person. This is why we have understood that digital transformation will only happen if you perform projects according to a business strategy. If you are left here in research and only making projects that cover a certain short-term need, you won't have a transformation happening. So this is why we need synergies between companies and research to get these actual hands-on projects that will make a difference. We see visualization as something bigger, and of course in a digitalization perspective, we can start connecting IoT. We have web mobile platforms that users require applications to work on. We have product lifecycle data systems that we need to be able to utilize data from, so that the visual model is always up to date and the information is not misleading. And then we have indeed the thing that we need to treat this in a respectful way also within the organization to achieve the transformation. If you look at the possibilities in AR, VR, we see that the video entertainment industry is almost 60%, but we also see that healthcare and industrial engineering applications is quite large. And here is where we see the synergies and possibilities for what we do in industrial to adopt it in healthcare and vice versa. Today's facts in AR is that the market is still smaller than what is being invested. 2015 the market was 640 million, while 2 months from May backwards over 1.1 billion was invested, so we are putting in a lot more than what we can really generate in revenue. But trends are that medical, retail and automotive will sort of drive the demand and show the way. In order to achieve results, we think that we need to come up with applications that can be taken into use. This is a typical example where we 2014 went to Munich, where Metaio, back then leading developer of AR technology, developed the thermal touch technology. So based on a thermal camera you could register a fingerprint or a touch on any surface. And we went there together with Mirka that produce abrasives and also polishing systems for automotive. And we took that idea and we applied it in a system that analyzes a surface when you polish it. We feed the thermal image to the glasses, and then as a user you have constant knowledge of the behavior of the surface and your own work task. And this is something that we believe could also apply in medical, that we can start feeding visual information through these kinds of applications, systems, hardware, to the patient, to the user, and assist them in their daily life. So this is what we actually have started to look into, that through glasses and visual assistance we could, for example, start fetching data and helping a person to move, for example, in a Parkinson's case where we have this freezing syndrome and visual assistance can unlock this person. We have done some small scale testing with a gate-aid device on a Parkinson's patient, and as 3D Studio company we are now representing ODG, leading developer of AR glasses and VR glasses for industrial use. So this way we see the synergies. If you look at the user requirements, now and in the future you have various different platforms and quite many different devices. Here we see that we can assist from our long experience, and we are sort of independent of any player to find the perfect equipment that suits a particular need. So this is my last slide, and let's create value by visualization. And the way to go is to go from research to concrete pilots and projects and create products and systems that will make a difference. Thank you.
Questions?
Has anybody talked to you about doing virtual simulation in education?
Yes.
Co-developing?
Yeah. Education is one big field that needs new tools and new ways to learn things and or teach things. And as an individual is an individual, and they are not alike. So you would need to sort of form the material to support that individual. there's of course a huge possibility through AR and VR. We are actually talking to Utbildningsstyrelsen. What's that in English? No, Swedish. Ministry of Education, yeah. But they are big organizations and quite complex and slow. We have our chairman of the board here, Roger Nybeck, today. I'm going to have to leave for another meeting, but he will be staying if you would like to discuss something with him. He's been really active into this Parkinson test that we are performing right now, and I'll be back then for about 2 o'clock.